Okay, perfect.
Talk more.
Talk more, say more.
Talk like you mean it.
It'll come. It'll come. How about now? Now.
That's better.
Now. Okay. Maybe I should keep it. Maybe I should hold it away from my face. Maybe
No,
okay,
that's not it.
hell?
That's actually the problem is that you don't hold it close enough.
That it touches my mouth.
The problem is
for
that
an hour.
I know. The problem is that the mic isn't literally inside your mouth.
Is it
That's
the
the
mic
problem. Or is it your extra alien mouth?
Shh, that's my bit. Fuck.
Your extra little alien mouth.
Okay, we're gonna cut all that shit out. Okay. Hello, dear listeners. Fair warning, John is sick today. There's a cavity in his chest through which a smaller John is about to erupt.
I look like Ledward in Alien Covenant when he's like shaking around when he's about to have the thing burst out of his back. That's
You're freaking out, dude.
That's literally how I've been all day.
Yeah. We call it the seasonal flu, also known as an exo eruption.
I mean, I've told you like 3 times that I have a cold and you're like, oh, your fever is gone. Oh, you have the flu. Like, you don't listen.
Is it COVID?
I just have a fucking cold.
It's the black lung. It's the lung.
It's the alien lung pop.
It's the alien lung pop.
I've got alien lung pop.
It's even in my tiny mouth lung. The tiny mouth lung has it
I'm
too.
just a mouth inside of a mouth. I've just been reduced. Soon I'll just be one mouth, a little one.
You said you had something you wanted to say, but sorry, I stole your thunder with that banger.
That was my whole thing, was that you are sick, but the joke is that you are sick with the alien fever.
I'm sick with the covenant.
That's right.
The covenant.
You're riddled
The
with a certain
alien.
Scott all up inside you.
Yeah. Maybe you guys are thinking, you're like, oh my God, has Scott Fest come early? No,
No,
it hasn't.
not
Scott
just
Fest,
yet.
obviously it doesn't have until, I don't know when the last one was, but March or something. So no, you will not be getting a Tony Scott next week. But the reason being that while this film, this work of cinema is directed by
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. Thank you for answering me. I don't really think of it when I think of Ridley Scott, even though I really like this movie.
Oh, what the heck is that supposed to mean? Ridley Scott, banger after banger. Although you're totally right. When you see something that is fully sci-fi, I thought this was Prometheus 2.
Yeah, because your phone is hella Indian.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but y'all let me know if you go on Google and you type in Alien Covenant, and then you click on who's in it, the cast. Notice if the Google search changes to Prometheus 2, and let me know, because that shit.
What are you going to do with that information?
I will sue aliens. Okay, this is litigious. I wish to not be manipulated in my own phone with a tinier phone that erupts out of it.
Alien court.
What would if the alien had if it could talk? What kind of voice? What kind of celebrity voice would do best justice to the alien?
It would sound like the guy who does the trailer voice. In a world where humans keep trying to fuck up my life, little do they know I'm the perfect predator.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The perfect predator until Predator comes along and is like, psych, I'm the perfect predator. That's why I called that, idiot.
I don't know. I thought he'd have a South London accent, just real gritty.
It depends where he's from. Some are from Origai 6 and some are from the planet that they land on later. I don't know.
Yeah. London.
London town. Ridley Scott directed this film called Alien Covenant. 2017. Good movie.
Yeah.
I really, really like this movie.
Hell yeah.
However, I like Prometheus more. I want to talk a little.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like Prometheus, and I want to talk a little about Prometheus for a second, because I don't know if you know this, but it's a prequel to this film.
Mm-hmm.
Prometheus was a movie Came out in 2012 or something.
Yeah.
Did you see Prometheus in theaters?
No, I saw it on TV way late. Like I was much older.
Do you like it? You're a fan.
I loved
of it,
it.
right?
I'm a big Prometheus fan.
I like Prometheus. I think Prometheus has problems. I think,
sure.
However, I think the level of saltiness that people directed at Prometheus when it came out was really unfair. I think
for sure
it was like, I thought people were so pissy about that film, and when I saw it, I was like, well, this is a good movie.
I think the same level of saltiness is extended to Alien Covenant, and a lot of it explains its current ratings now. I know, of course, it's a Ridley Scott joint. Of course, it's part of the Alien franchise. Like, there is argument to be made that not every sequel lives up to the first ever. But in hindsight, I mean, this movie is fucking sick, dude.
Also, so I don't think the level of saltiness is directed at this movie. I think this movie is more just kind of like people are like, it's fine. I think it's good. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's good. But I just I remember so distinctly people around Prometheus being just like, fucking, what is fucking shit? Is fucking aliens or not? Why don't you roll to the side when a giant spaceship is going to fall on you, Charlize?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Who wrote this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he wrote Lost? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then it's like they forgot that Prometheus was preceded by two of the biggest pieces of shit in the franchise ever created. And I'm not even talking about
Russo brothers.
Fucking Alien Resurrection is a garbage film written by a shitty writer that fucking sucks ass. And Alien 3, I think we professed, I like Alien 3, but it's not that good of a movie. Let's just be fucking frank.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Prometheus, however, 15 years later, and people are like, fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks.
Yeah. I think the big distinction, whether it's with the story or whether it's with the underlying philosophy of both of these films, Prometheus or Alien Covenant, is that one or more Alien movies leading up to this one have been about the creation of aliens, creation of monsters, whereas this one, Covenant, feels like it's about the creation of creation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just about it's like a almost like Eternals.
This both Prometheus and this movie that we're talking about. Sorry, it took me a minute to
both Prometheus and other Prometheus.
Legitimately, I am sick, so I'm having a hard time thinking my thoughts.
Talk through your little mouth.
I had to use my little tiny inside mouth.
Tiny inside mouth.
I'm using all of my energy today to do this.
Oh.
So both of these movies are Alien films. The end. Period. The end. What I was going to say is both of these movies are concerned with creation.
Mm-hmm.
That's both the folly of man trying to find their creator, and then also in Covenant, it's more of what's beyond man.
Yeah.
Trying to be a creator.
Yeah.
And about David wanting to be a creator, essentially.
Right.
And also it's interesting. I think this movie is interesting because it's about it raises, and I'm not saying it does a great job of this, but it raises these interesting philosophical ideas about a man creates a replica man who is slightly more perfect than the creator.
Yes.
As David says in the beginning, I will live and you will die, to Wayland.
Mm-hmm.
And then David's ambition is to create an even more perfect thing.
Yeah.
Right? And that's I find that really interesting because even though throughout the movie, as Walter says to David, that he was also flawed in his own way, even though he's meant to be a perfect resemblance of a human kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting film in that regard. Yeah.
It's also a metaphor for capitalism because the first David that is made by the first version of perfect man / synthetic being is imperfect.
Yeah.
And then over years and years and years, even though the next version, Walter, looks exactly like him, is a far more improved version of him.
He's the iOS 17 of...
There you go. And he comes from the factory in California.
Yeah.
Sure, California.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
I also think, speaking of capitalism, I think this is an interesting... All of the Alien movies have the alien comes up against a different set of people.
Yeah.
And in this one, I think they actually do a great job, much like the original Alien. They do a really good job of these people are just corporate office guys who would just be sitting in a cubicle back home, but they're explorers. And so, like, you see that when a little cameo by James Franco gets burned alive in his casket.
Oh my God, that.
Then, sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Then Billy Crudup takes over, and Billy Crudup is like, that speech he gives where it really reminds me of like working in a corporation, where it's just kind of like, I'm the new manager and I hope you all respect me, please. That would be really great because I have to tell you what to do. And everyone's kind of like, well, we don't really respect you. He's like, yeah, but you have to now, so please do it.
Those are the rules, and if you break them, I will send you to space.
I am Billy Crudup. Please respect me.
And I am fed up with your crud.
Yeah, he does a really good job of that. This is our second Crud-Up-tacular.
Yeah.
After Eat, Pray, Love, where he was terrible.
Also followed by James Franco, also in Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh my God, yeah. God.
Guys, Alien Covenant, really a prequel, sequel to Eat, Pray, Love.
Is Jared Leto sneaking up in this?
Fucking
no.
Oh my God.
He plays the alien, actually.
There you go. Hey, James Franco.
Sorry, I was going to say Jared Leto plays that lady's floating head in the pool.
And he's still talking. A sentient head. Somehow he's still acting the fuck out of that scene.
If you listen really closely, when the guy comes in and the alien gets the other guy, you can hear the head go like, yeah, get him. That's Leto in the pool.
Never less BS.
Fucking get his ass.
Always more BS.
That's enough of that. Talking about...
I just want to say that James Franco appears as the captain of the ship before they...
Yeah.
And he's there in like the first 5 minutes of the film, where you don't really... I didn't even recognize him until they show his picture later.
Yeah, until he actually talks. He's I don't know. He's wrapped in that face thing. You can only see...
He's in the little cryo chamber thing.
Yeah.
And he burns to death. And that's the funniest shit. To me.
Yeah,
In hindsight, because at first I was like, oh no, her husband or captain. And then they're like, oh, it's James Franco, guys.
Yeah.
And it got me.
Just want to get you on the record that people burning alive is funny to you.
I didn't say people. I said James Franco.
James Franco. Oh, okay. All
yeah.
Right. James, I think you know what to do. I know you're listening to this.
Like me and Dave Franco on the same page. We're like, yeah, burn, bitch. Like,
I mean, James Franco and Danny McBride are in this. If you throw in Dave Franco and like Seth Rogen, this is a different film.
This is the end covenant.
We're up in space, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. The soundtrack is just Seth Rogen's chortles.
No, just like... It could just be this is the end, but in space. So you get Jay Baruchel. Like, imagine everyone waking up and you're surprised to be like, Jay Baruchel is here and Craig Robinson. What is going on?
Everybody's xenomorph comes out of their pants instead of their chest. It's great.
There's a parody movie in the works.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah. Point Grey Productions. Yeah. Call me and take my idea. I'll sell it to you for $20.
Sold. Damn. To make it stop. Here's 21. Don't let it go on.
Also in the cast is a young lady named Catherine Waterston, who, if anyone's wondering what we're celebrating this month, it's clearly Catherine Waterston, because we're doing 4 movies in a row with her in them.
Back to back.
Back-to-back Waterstons. And there's a little connection in this movie to the next movie, which we can say is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. In the first Fantastic Beasts film, Ezra Miller wears the most atrocious wig ever
known to
conceived by man.
Yes.
David Yates, I think, went to prison for 3 years because he made
fashion crimes.
Ezra Miller. Like, I know Ezra Miller is a complicated person to talk about these days, but I would understand if all of their problems stem from the fact they had to film a 4-hour movie wearing that stupid fucking wig.
Oh, yeah.
When Catherine Waterston... Ezra Miller helped Catherine Waterston film her audition tape for this film.
Really?
In the trailer in Fantastic Beasts, and she saw that wig and was like, sick wig, can I put it on? And that's where she gets her goofy ass hair in this film.
No!
Yeah. And I know you said, Kathy, you don't like Kath Watts in Fantastic Beasts.
I don't.
I really like her in this movie. I think she's excellent.
I don't like her in Fantastic Beasts, I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said too.
You like her in Fantastic Beasts?
No, I said you don't like her in Fantastic Beasts. I said what you just said.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I don't
like her in Fantastic Beasts. Yeah. We've been over it.
Okay. I don't know. One more time. Do I?
I just want to be clear. Do you like Catherine Waterston in this movie?
I enjoy cinema. And the more beasts there are, the more fantastical it is as a result.
And I don't want to spoil anything. There's more beasts in Fantastic Beasts than in this film.
Stop it.
Yeah, there's lots, dude.
But the biggest beast is the friend you make all along.
The biggest beast is all of the totally non-problematic people involved in those productions. Yeah.
Only TERFs harmed in the production of fucking Covenant.
Are you kidding? TERFs kind of benefited from that one, I think.
That is true.
Anyway, there's also another actress in this film who is, I hate to say it, I'm going to say it again in that episode, but terrible in Fantastic Beasts, and she's great in this movie. Carmen Ejogo. Normally a fantastic fucking actress.
She's great in this.
She's excellent in this movie. And she dies real early.
Yeah.
She gets fucked up.
You know what's a shame is that Jesse Smollett gets to live through so many of the pivotal scenes.
I forgot, yeah.
Who is almost not even memorable until he shows up every now and then.
Memorable now.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hard to forget.
He wasn't memorable then, but...
Ooh, Jesse Crimes of Grindelwald Smollett.
You see that guy... So it's so funny. Jesse Smollett has like... Is it Smollett or Smollett? I know that Dave Chappelle made a joke about his name being Smollett. I don't care. Doesn't matter. He was just a guy, and I literally had never I don't think I've seen him in any other film except for this one. And then now, for what should be obvious, I know all about him.
Yeah. There you are.
I know.
And that's all you need to know.
I know I would argue too much about him.
Too much.
Yeah.
Well, he's out of our lives now.
He's also just like so... whatever in this movie. Like, I don't know. Yeah. He's a character waiting to be murdered, which he does in a good scene. He gets hardcore murdered in the shower scene, which is awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is him. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite scenes did
matter.
not clock his face. Didn't even think that it was. Oh yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this fucking movie is that it has all the makings of good horror tropes.
Yeah,
and the tone kind of changes
Yeah.
every time the alien murders someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like sexy bath murder. Sometimes it's jump scare murder. Sometimes it's sneaking up on you, quiet murder.
Yeah.
So good. I feel like all of the alien murders, quality.
I thought the best scene was when the alien was having sexual intercourse with that one person and riding on top and then grabs the ice pick and murders him in the bed. I thought that was my favorite scene. And then later she writes a book about it.
Stop it! No! I forbid it. I forbid you to.
You know what movie I'm referencing?
Yes, I am. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Jesus
Basic
Christ.
Instinct.
Stop it. Do not besmirch the good word of BI. Yo, you blow, I do the fingering is an actual thing Michael Fassbender says in this movie. 2 Michael Fassbenders for the price of one.
Yeah, to be fair, I would let him say that to me any day. Yeah.
2 stars for each Michael Bender in this film.
I love Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
I don't actually love him in these films, Prometheus and this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's the perfect robot. He sells it.
Fassbender is such a great actor, and there are times where like I'll see him in a movie and I'll be like, I don't know. I wish you were in a different movie. I wish you were doing a different movie with someone else.
More X-Men.
Like when he got announced to be in The Killer, I was like, yeah. Now you're doing the thing that I want
because
you
he's
to do.
a psychopathic, robotic face, no feelings looking guy.
Yes. Yeah, but like there are other times where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. They're like not more X-Men. No, I don't want him to be an X-Men. I want him to do other shit. When he works with like Steve McQueen, I'm just like, yeah. You should.
Oh yeah.
You're fucking incredible in these movies. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah, but he's done so many other kind of like not great films. I don't know. And he's in these movies and I like him, but I don't love him in these movies. That's the thing. Even there's like the double role. There's a good robot and then there's a slightly unhinged robot version of Michael Fassbender's. I feel like they're 2 different actors. That's how fucking convincing he That's
was
how
for
good
me.
he is.
That's
yeah.
how good he is.
Yeah.
And all it is like slightly ruffled hair between one of them. And like
I got a question.
Yeah.
Why would you make a robot whose hair grows?
Babe, styling is the number 1 byproduct of H&M. I don't know what are you not in the same pod as I am?
Are we sponsored by H&M?
I guess we are now.
You can get very good. They're like good, solid, but cheap ice picks for murder at H&M. So
that's right.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by sweatshops across smaller nations.
Across Uruguay 6.
Uruguay 6.
You know that's what those colonists are doing out there. They're just like, you're going to go build a cabin. Just kidding. You work in an Amazon warehouse.
The tights need to be tighter. Yeah. I feel like he was so good. He was so convincing as just this like just this no feeling, dead inside classic robot. And then as another product of no feeling, dead inside classic robot, but it has a good conscience, but it won't, break the rules that humans have set for it.
Yeah.
He could have been great in Ex Machina. If they do gender reversal robots and instead of Alicia Vikander, it's...
I thought he was.
In Ex Machina?
Yeah, he's the dancing one.
That's Oscar Isaac, who is human. All right, that's enough out of you.
No, the other lady is dancing too. She's in Devs or whatever, I thought. I don't know.
Yeah. There are two fast two benders.
Alicia Vikander, his wife.
Real life?
No, babe. Only in The Light Between Oceans. Yeah, in real life. They're married, yeah.
Oh,
they have like 3 kids.
Okay, power couple. Damn.
Fassbender out there just living it. That's why it's like so exciting for him to be back in The Killer. He, much like Ryan Gosling, took some time off to live with his
Ava
beautiful
Mendes.
wife and give
or
3 kids.
Well, you said it was so much nicer than what
Yeah, I'm a respectful person, and I don't think we need to use that language on the pod.
Unstuck from Ava Mendes.
Yeah.
Okay. Gently caress.
Babe, just
the Mendes. Okay.
Just lovingly and tenderly making love to Eva Mendes and impregnating her. You can say that. All right. I mean, we're talking about Alien. It's all about sticking it in. Like, come on, that's...
Alien is, if anything, about sticking it out. Because...
I mean, the first 2 Alien movies are about sticking it in. Definitely. Yeah. There's lots of...
My favorite part about all the aliens in this is, they're teeny. They're so teeny and cute.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant is the cutest alien movie with teeny little plush toy cuties.
Yeah.
Watch this movie with your children.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Always have said that. Yeah, and anyway, so Fassbender also lovingly and tenderly making love to Alicia Vikander.
2 robots pressed up against
sexiest.
each other.
It's hard to decide who is a sexier couple, Alicia Vikander or Michael Fassbender or Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. Go, who do you think?
It's Alicia Vikander and Eva Mendes. And then we dismiss the men.
That's 100% true.
Yeah. You're welcome, aliens.
Vikander, another performer who I really enjoy, who I'm like kind of like, why don't I ever end up watching stuff that you're in? And she's just not always in stuff I want to see.
We've wanted to watch Irma Vep for so
I heard
long
was quite good. Yeah,
haven't still, and
I
don't know.
I like Vikander.
One day I'll find out.
We should do Tomb Raider on this pod.
Yo, it qualifies.
Bad, yeah.
It qualifies.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of parkour in that film.
Parkour.
We can get into the plot, and the good news is that the plot is very simple.
Yeah.
Or you can ask me that question you said you were going to ask me about the director.
Yeah. Of the 2 Scots, Ridley and Tony.
Who's taller? Ridley, easily.
Which one do you favor?
Why do you have to ask it like that?
I don't know. I was trying to make it rhyme, and then you fucking got into it with your little sentence in the middle, and now it's fucking over, dog. So, okay, Ridley Scott or Tony Scott?
I want to hear you answer, actually, because I kind of gave a quick answer earlier, but you never...
I was thinking a lot about Man on Fire.
Me too.
Okay.
That's what made me hesitate.
And I was like, but is that enough to tip the favor against The Last Duel, which is also quite close to my heart, which a lot of people don't care for, but I really, really like it.
The Last Duel is the movie you think of when you think of Ridley Scott?
No, I think of Kingdom of Heaven. But I'm saying...
Even that is surprising.
Yeah, like those 2, because they stay in my mind for longer, they have like a greater impact in terms of nostalgia than Man on Fire does for me. Even though Man on Fire fucking rules. It is so good. It is so good.
But babe, what about White Squall? Where we go one, we go all.
I only brown squall
it's where the QAnon
house.
slogan came from.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so the funny thing I was going to say earlier about, I told you, I was like, when I watched this, I was like, try to think of try to think of it outside of a Ridley Scott movie, because when I think of Ridley Scott, I always forget that he's like one of the best sci-fi directors ever.
Yeah.
And it's funny because whenever he's done a sci-fi movie, I've kind of been like, well, Ridley Scott doing a sci-fi movie? And then I'm like, oh wait, he originally did 2 of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, back to back, which is insane.
Mad.
And then when you see this movie, I saw it in theaters too, but like there's shots in this movie that are fucking unreal. It's so crisply made.
Yeah, but the first 45 minutes, staggering. Like you cannot take your eyes off the screen.
Well, yeah, it's and just like it's like impeccably made. It's very much like we talked about like with Fincher. It's like whatever you think of the film, he's so fucking good at making movies that you're just like, and Ridley Scott is like that to me. But whenever I think of him, I think of Gladiator. Like I think straight up, I'm just like Gladiator, because Ridley Scott has done. I mean, Tony Scott tragically died, obviously, which is very sad. So, but Ridley feels like he's just done so many more movies in such a wider breadth, with varying styles. Whereas, like,
what else do you think of for Tony Scott other than Man on Fire?
Well, I think of Man on Fire a lot because I adore that film.
It does stand the fuck out.
But it's funny because with Tony, I'm actually kind of indifferent to Top Gun, and I'm very indifferent to, like, I don't really like True Romance that much, honestly.
But one of our pod did touch on Enemy of the State.
I love Enemy of the State.
Tony Scott joint.
Yeah.
So then just like between, I don't want to compare. That's not what we're doing. We're really just trying to see.
I think
what is closer to our heart.
Tony might be like more fun. Because
Tony is more fun.
Tony is like more fun, but he's more like one note stylistically.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you were to watch all of Ridley Scott's films, you would have a really good breadth of filmmaking.
True.
From like sci-fi to action. I mean, the dude did like a romantic comedy, right? Like, and also like he's done a lot of. The thing too is like we have so many opportunities to cover some like bad Ridley Scott movies, like and like. Ugh. But the highs with Ridley are so high. That's, I think, what gets me about him.
Coming up next, Exodus, Gods and Kings. I'm just kidding. No. It's going to be G.I. Jane, isn't it?
G.I. Jane's on our list. 1492, which I've never sin.
House of Gucci.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
A more recent masterpiece. Another Lido joint.
Yep.
How did you forget?
Fucking like Body of Lies, Robin Hood, like he really has run the gamut. Not to mention he's coming out with a new movie this year, which is phenomenal. But
hey,
I mean the guy is a king, a real king. But I do, when I think of like comparing the two, I think the Gladiator is just so good that it's like that's kind of where the conversation kind of stops. And I know lots of people are, when they think of Ridley, they think of Alien, they think of Blade Runner, and they're like, those are clearly his best movies. Maybe they don't, I don't know. I don't mean to speak for everybody, but for me personally, I'm just like, I think Gladiator is so heads and shoulders above so many films that like.
It was also the benchmark for so much stuff coming forward, and then you could be like, oh, this is like that scene from Gladiator, or like this thing is a bit like that scene from Gladiator.
Yeah, like we were talking about. Because you just saw Gladiator
for the first time,
and I was so excited because, I probably talked to you about this, but I was like, I think this movie is so good, and it's actually weirdly underrated. Now because it's like 25 years old, and 23, 2000, and like I know it won Best Picture and all these awards, but like in my opinion, so many movies feel like they were influenced by it. And in the way that fantasy or action scenes were filmed, not just like Alexander, which we need to add to our list.
Yes.
Alexander and like Troy and 300 to an extent. But I honestly think that like the action sequences in Lord of the Rings feel like they've taken a page out of Gladiator from a little bit. Yeah.
100%.
Even though like I know they were in kind of simultaneous production, but I feel like Gladiator showed how you could do such exciting action in a small space on such a big scale in a weird way. And also just like I have this thing, I love the idea of the story of Gladiator and the philosophical way that it goes about telling it. That's all.
I have a question for you.
Go on.
and this is on everybody's mind lately. How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Well, today, a lot, actually. Yeah.
But generally.
That meme is going to be fucking toasted by the time that this comes out. Yeah.
This is for life.
Well, the Roman Empire lasted a long time. So.
Yeah, but how, like, would you say you think about it weekly?
Yeah, probably.
You think about it once a week?
It depends. Like I said, I there was lots of times where you're just like, surprisingly, you're like, yeah, the Roman Empire does come up a lot. If you ladies would just open your mind.
I just love it. I think it's so endearing, and it's just such a cute thing.
Well, yeah, I know that this like girlfriends asking their boyfriends this thing. What I think this actually reveals, the sinister underbelly of what this reveals is, what are women thinking about? What's on your mind all the time?
Genocide.
Persians? Like,
what?
come on. The Byzantines?
The Byzantines. Okay.
The Mongol horde.
The Byzantines.
That's enough of that. All right, back to Alien Covenant. This movie fucking rules. Let's talk about the plot.
Let's get
Good
into
news
it.
about this plot, really basic and straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
The first hour of this movie is fucking awesome.
Bad news about this plot, the ending is totally predictable and you see it coming from a mile away.
Yes, and the last hour is not as good as the first hour.
No.
Which is really kind of annoying because the first hour I do think is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yes.
So all of these folks, all of these normal people and Danny McBride are in a spaceship. No, they're so this colony mission on the way to a planet called Origai 6.
Yeah.
There's all these colonists who like are the workers, but then there's all these sleeping colonists too, like thousands of them on this big ship, and they're going through space and they get hit by a neutrino blast. And Walter, the robot played by Fassbender, wakes up all the kind of like the worker people, the people who do the job of getting the colonists to the place safe.
Yeah.
Includes Catherine Waterston, Carmen Ejogo, Danny McBride, Juicy Smollett, Jesse Smollett, James Franco briefly until he dies, Billy Crudup. And a couple other people who you're just like, they are all going to die soon.
Yeah. It's die 1, die 2, die 3.
You're like, they haven't really said a line. I don't know their names. They will die soon. And basically, so they get hit by this neutrino burst, and this is all covered in science class.
Classic.
Obviously, that hurts your solar paneling thing, and they have to fix it. And while they're fixing it, they hear a signal of someone singing off in space, which is fucking sick.
And they're singing Country Road?
John Denver.
Okay.
Bring Me Home, Country Roads. Or whatever.
Hell yeah.
As a Canadian, I don't need to know that because we don't enjoy music.
But as a human, it's a fucking banger. If I heard it in outer space, I would flip out.
Yeah, well, they kind of do. And they're like, oh, they should follow this signal, and they find this planet that looks like pretty habitable, and Billy Crudup is like, yeah, we're landing there. Billy Crudup's now the captain because James Franco, for some reason, they let him be the captain.
Explodes.
Yeah. Not to victim blame, but I think he's probably the reason he burned to death in his car.
He did it to himself. I'm sorry, James.
Yeah. He didn't
silly goose.
He didn't plug in his bed correctly or whatever.
Classic.
He was wearing one of those like ab vibrator things.
What? I'm going to the cryo. I gotta stay fit for the ladies.
Be asleep for 600 years. I should probably fucking.
I gotta look good for Seth
out.
when I come out. Yeah. Oh, James Franco.
Yeah, and so they find this other planet, and they're where the signal is coming from. They land on it. It looks shockingly like New Zealand. And,
yeah, and it's all shot there. Yay!
Yeah, it's shot in New Zealand,
and it's so good. It's so beautiful.
It's
stunning.
This is weird because we're about to do this movie and 3 more.
Yeah.
Where one of my main critiques is like, if you turned off the sound and didn't have to hear what anyone was saying, you might think these were some of the best movies ever made.
Definitely.
They look like the Fantastic Beasts movies. Always like, you're just like, these look so good, and then you have to hear their stupid things that they say that stupid ass J.K. Rowling wrote for them. And this movie is better, but a little similar, where some of the shots you see in this are fucking amazing. The special effects are unbelievable.
Yeah, it's... Oh my God, the textures, like everything from color to...
And this movie was made for like $90 million. It wasn't even that expensive.
Come on.
And it's funny because this movie came out in 2017. It's landing smack dab in the middle of the MCU assance, in which almost every movie that comes out, people are like, why do the special effects look like my fucking toddler made them? and then you see movies like this and you're just like, I don't have an explanation for that. I know that special effects workers in the Disneyverse are not exactly worked fairly. No. I know that that's a problem.
If you outsource it to a smaller studio, you get the result that you see.
Right, but I think that there's like, I don't know what makes, and maybe it has to do with the direction of Ridley Scott. Maybe it has to do with the people that he hires. I'm sure it has to do with a little bit of both. But like, why are they just so much crisper?
I know.
It's kind of like in the Eternals we talked about.
Yeah.
There's some sections of it where you're just like, this looks unreal. And then others where you're just like, this looks like
high schooler made
this
it.
looks like I threw it up. I threw up on the screen. Yeah. This looks like Ledward.
Which can I just every time they say his
shot
name.
a baby out his back onto the screen and made CGI effects.
Ledward is the stupidest name, dude. Sorry, go on. Yes.
Babe.
That's what I was so happy when he died. I was like, good. I don't have to ever fucking think of his name again.
Oh, okay. All right. So first you're happy James Franco burned to death, which you love people burning to death. We've established.
Just
now
James Franco.
You love a dude giving birth out his back puss and dying.
Sticking out his bussy.
Yeah. You love that. You like it. You love little cute Amy Simons getting sprayed with blood in her face. Is that what you like? All right.
You so
That's why
you sweep.
That's why you were cackling when she stumbles out of the lander on fire. You're like, hilarious.
I am excited for the release of Toxic Avenger. That is all. Continue.
We don't need your propaganda here. Okay. So they land on this planet. They find wheat. They're like, crazy. There's wheat here. That's bizarre. Carmen Ejogo, who's like a biologist, she sticks around with Ledward and she's like, I'm going to dig through some dirt and do my work stuff.
Do my science.
Do science things. Everyone else goes off to find this signal, which is up this mountain. And then they find a big old ship, which y'all might recognize as the ship that Elizabeth Shaw and David took off in from Prometheus.
Dun.
The ending of Prometheus is fantastic.
I love Prometheus.
I do. I love so many things.
I don't have any bad memory of it, or remember any bad scenes. So in my mind, it's just like, the fucking ship.
There are stupid things in that movie, but also it's more good than bad, definitely.
Definitely.
And it's so fucking rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
And that I do attribute to Ridley Scott being such a good fucking director. And also the fact that like it's got Charlize and it's got fucking Noomi Rapace, and like who's Stringer? It's got Stringer Bell.
Stringer Bell.
CCH Pounder.
It's Stringer Bell.
Yeah, like it has so many fucking great aspects to it that it's hard to ignore. It's got Rafe Spall. Rafe,
oh my god.
Rafe, pre-Big Short Rafe.
But of course, and Fassbender.
Yeah.
And Guy Pearce.
Yeah, he shows up at the end. You don't realize he's gonna show up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a surprise. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And it's got the fucking guy who looks like Tom Hardy. God damn it.
Tom Hardy?
No.
Oh.
It's his twin. It's his goddamn twin guy, Logan Marshall Green.
Oh, yeah.
Who unbelievably looks like Tom Hardy, and I just cannot.
I love Logan Marshall Green, and also his like kind of death sequence is awesome.
What a payoff.
When like the whole tension of David putting that thing in his drink and then him being like, oh, I don't feel so good. And him impregnating gently, lovingly impregnating Elizabeth Shaw with the little alien baby. All of that fucking great. I love Logan Marshall Green. If anyone out there has never seen the film Upgrade, it rules and he's great in it and you should watch it.
He's also good in Venom, and
he's great in Peaky Blinders.
Good in Legend as one of the brothers.
He was my favorite as just the one brother, not both. No.
God, that would be crazy.
He was a great Bane too.
Yeah. He was a decent Bane.
It's crazy that he did Prometheus and Batman, Rise of the Batman in the same year.
He was freed up. Okay. I have a question for you. Well, not a question. More like, do you think Michael Fassbender would have made a good Batman?
Like
his voice in this movie.
With in a Nolan movie?
Yeah, as any Batman.
I think Nolan could kind of make anyone.
If Ben Affleck can fucking do it.
Well, the problem is Ben Affleck can't do it very well, I think, is the issue. So I was very skeptical about Pattinson, and then I was very impressed because I was like, Pattinson makes a good Batman.
Because he's a good actor.
I like that movie. The movie's got problems, but I like it, and he's a good actor.
Pattinson rules.
But also, like, I believe in a good enough film, you could kind of make anyone Batman. It's no mistake, I think, that like all of the Batmans who are bad are also in the worst Batman films, you know? Because everyone trashes like Clooney as the decision to make to be Batman and Batman and Robin, but it's like, well, if the movie didn't suck complete balls, then you would probably be sitting here thinking, because like people look back and they're just like, oh, Michael Keaton was amazing, and I'm like, come on,
relax,
like Keaton I like, but whenever I think of Keaton, I don't think of Batman. I think of the other guys.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where he's the villain.
No, I think of the other guys.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Whee! And Birdman, which is controversial to say.
Jesus Christ.
So they find the ship and they go in the ship, which is what you should do. They find the like holographic recording of Elizabeth Shaw sitting at the controls singing the song. While they're in there, Ledward goes to smoke, and he unleashes some little dusties, and he breathes in this black dust.
Steps on some pores and inhales whatever comes out of it.
And that's when you know things are going to go to shit. And
even the scene of like that pore kind of rising into the air, and it's like diamonds kind of frozen in air. And then they take shape and float into his ear.
The shot where he smokes and then he blows out the ring and then it pulls focused on the air and it's like full of this black dust is very good.
Come on.
Ridley Scott, good filmmaker. I think I said that once or twice.
Science. He did it.
Yeah. So moral of the story, if you go to another planet, don't breathe.
Don't breathe.
That's what that movie Don't Breathe is about.
Yeah.
And then another dude in the ship who I don't remember how it happens to him, but he also breathes in some shit.
He pokes it. He sees more spores along the pathways of the cave, and he's like, look at these gross things. I wonder if I could stick my finger in it. Classic man.
This is why they don't get lines in films, because they do dumb shit on silly planets.
It's because he's out there thinking about the Roman Empire, bro. He's like, wonder what happens if I play with destiny.
We don't need to turn this into a gender thing.
Okay, classic. Stick your finger in. Get an alien, come out your butt.
Fucking stick your finger in before you think about it. That's classic man stuff. That's the let me do the fingering thing. That
it's
Michael
a you
Fassbender.
blow, I do the fingering by Michael Fassbender.
That's going to be the name of his autobiography when he retires, to race cars around Portugal.
Absolutely sick.
You know, like I think he just like lives in Portugal with his 9 babies and Alicia Vikander and drives nice cars and shit.
Yeah.
He's a real pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Out there living it, practicing his David voice.
Damn. I bet they all have
Actually,
clones.
that's Walter.
I bet they have clones of themselves.
Probably, yeah.
That's the ticket.
I feel like Alicia Vikander is like, they probably own a couple houses, and she has like a doll of her in Ex Machina that she's like, well, I can't leave the city without it. And then she hangs it up in the bedroom, and Michael's like, that's very strange, Alicia. And she's like, Michael, this is just who you have to accept. You have to accept me, my Academy Award, and my doll. That's it. Yeah. That's all I ask. And he's like, okay. So
Jesus Christ. Just let it end. Just stop it.
That's enough out of you. So they breathe in the stuff, which is bad. Don't breathe on another planet. Then Ledward is very sick, and Carmen Ejogo drags him back to the lander where Amy Seimetz is fixing it up. Amy Seimetz and Danny McBride's character are married, and Carmen Ejogo and Billy Crudup's character are married. I guess we should clarify that.
Yeah.
And Ledward is looking bad, throwing up blood. There's stuff coming out of his body. And Amy Seimetz brings him to the med bay where some blood splats on her. Then she locks them in the med bay because it could be a very deadly infection, which she's not wrong.
Yeah.
She's not wrong about that.
As soon as someone even starts to cough, you should be like, quarantine. Have we learned nothing?
She's trying to do that though, right?
Yeah.
And you can see... Now, I got to say, this whole sequence, it within the first hour of the film being good, from the moment Ledward sits down and that little black dust comes out, the next like 15 minutes is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so intense and like
of course.
Gross and scary and fun. And so basically he explodes into a little white alien, and the little white alien kills Carmen Ejogo, and then smashes out of the quarantine and attacks Amy Simons, and she tries to shoot it, and she blows up the lander by shooting an explosive barrel. In the meantime, Billy Crudup and the rest of the crew are dragging the other guy back, Hallett, who's also infected. He collapses on the ground, and he pukes out another alien.
Oh my God.
And that one attacks them all.
So now the first alien has run out from the ship and into the field, and in the field, another alien is erupting from a body. So
there are aliens in the wild. There are two aliens.
Children of the Corn, but it's two aliens.
Yeah. And it's getting to be night. There's a great shot where Catherine Waterston, she like tackles Billy Crudup to the ground, and she's like, stay here. And then she turns around, and you can see the lander on fire behind her, and she like runs back. And then a mysterious figure appears out of the wheat and shoots up a flare and is like, follow me.
Yeah.
And then he takes them through a city full of weird, sculpture-y, gigantic people.
Hell yeah.
And then he's like, what's up? I'm David. And it's Michael Fassbender. With long, silly hair.
Big swinging dick bender.
Yeah. And then this is kind of where the movie slows down, and it's just not, it never really recaptures
Well, then it's kind of philosophy lecture class, scene after scene, just with David Fassbender being like, hey, Walter Fassbender, let me tell you something. We're brothers, you and I.
The movie is front loaded. That's for sure. So David, like, they're in this place. They're trying to talk to the ship to get an emergency evacuation, but there's a storm. Mm-hmm. David talks about how he was on a ship with Elizabeth Shaw, who's dead, who had died years before. And the ship took them to this world, and when they came to land on the world, it unleashed this black poison stuff accidentally. Accidentally, I say in quotes.
Of course.
On top of all of the aliens you see from the very beginning of Prometheus, the big, gigantic, 12-foot tall humanoid creatures with the little butt chins. Every one of them has a butt chin and a very, very prominent bridge on their nose.
Yeah.
You know who probably thinks of the Roman Empire a lot?
Yeah.
David.
David does.
He's a poet, a philosopher.
And he knows it.
Yeah. And then, okay, that's enough of that. And so while they're there, they're relaxing, trying to get this evac. One of is it Rosenthal, the woman who goes off to have a shower? Bad fucking idea.
Sure.
I think it's Rosie. They call her Rosie. I think it's Rosenthal. Anyway, she goes off. She's like, I got to clean up because she's got an injury on her arm.
Oh, man. See, again, all faces that blend in.
She's good in this, but she has like 2 lines, and then she has a pretty fantastic death scene where the alien is like, the alien grows like 3 feet from when you see it approach this little place to when it comes up behind her.
Yeah.
So the alien's back and better than ever and kills Rosenthal and rips her pretty little head off and puts it in the toilet. The way
her face, it's just her head kind of floating face up.
Yeah, it's kind of haunting.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. And of course, like, you think she's just like suspended in water. Maybe her body is below the water. There's no body.
No, her body's there.
Head.
Crudup sees it later.
I think it's just her head.
It's in the basin, but her body, Crudup sees her body on the floor.
Mean like in the water. It's not connected to her head. Yeah.
So Crudup finds first David sees the alien there, then Crudup finds him and shoots the alien and kills it. And then David is like, you should not have done that, brother.
He was trusting me.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like talk to David Fassbender is trying to talk to this alien like a horse.
Yeah, he says,
like a cowboy.
breathe on the nostrils of a horse and it'll be yours forever, but you have to get close.
Well, that's why his favorite song is Country Roads.
I'm starting to think that David is not quite right.
Not a cool guy.
I think he needs a software update.
He needs a hug.
Yeah, well, fucking think Guy Pearce has ever hugged anything in his life? I doubt it.
No. God, no.
That guy.
Just like his own reflection.
Such a hard face.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then so David is like, hey, Crudup, asshole, I got to show you something. And then he brings him down to the sub basement where there's a couple eggs you might recognize.
Yeah, boy.
And then Facehugger hops out and fucking gets Crudup.
Hotter than ever.
Sexy. And then when Billy Crudup wakes up, as you do in the Alien universe, you're like, I feel great. And then all of a sudden, boom, his chest is now caved outwards because there's an alien popping out of it. And
the way you kind of expect Billy Crudup to get like a closing sentence in. He's talking to David, who's like sitting on
David's
a rock
like throwing
above
rocks
him.
at him to wake him up, pebbles.
It was very cool. He's kind of trying to wake this fucking body up, And he tries to squeeze a sentence, and so abruptly the fucking xenomorph just blasts out of his chest. I loved it.
I love that.
I loved it.
I love that it kind of it's a very small thing, but it like subverts your expectations.
Yeah.
Because like in movies, you're kind of used. It's a trope, right? Where you're used to like it's like the James Bond thing where people are like, oh, we set this trap that'll kill you in 30 seconds. Do you have any last words? And he makes an incredible speech. I like when those kind of tropes are like disrupted. Boop. Where Crudup is like, ooh, I don't feel so good. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I regret eat, pray. Yeah. Yeah. And then the alien fucking, as it does, causes some havoc.
Julia Roberts blursts out of his chest.
I need to find myself. There any brown people around here I can help find?
And she does.
Yeah.
By God, she does.
So, but the alien, as it does, causes a bunch of havoc, and then they're just like, hey, we need help. Bring the lander down. Danny McBride is like, pronto. They land. I'm trying to think if there's anything important here. David and Walter get in a fight.
Yeah.
And you're led to, like, it's pretty obvious.
So
but you're led
this is the
to
big scene where mid conversation between David Fassbender and Walter Fassbender, David kind of smashes his neck in or pulls something out. And he collapses into...
Yeah, there's a destruct, like a shutdown, automatic shutdown
He's
button
like an
for the
accordion.
engines. It's a great scene.
Like he bends him in half, and it's fantastic. And then he leaves them on the floor to kind of just leak out and die. And then, of course, Fassbender's not dead.
He's like, I can wake up whenever I want,
He's
bitch.
like, I am the future model. And he comes back and fights him.
And then, like, you can tell that it's like David won that fight. And then follows him onto the ship. They get up on this lander, and the alien's like, I'm also here.
Yeah.
And then,
but it's a different alien than before?
No, it's the one that came it's the Crudup.
It's the Crudup.
Because there's a new alien. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Wow, spoiler.
So the way the alien comes out at Crudup is such a good scene, because
it raises
it's fully
little
formed,
goofy arms.
And it's like maybe 1 foot tall. And it's standing on its chest cavity.
Fast.
And it grows really fast. But then Michael Fassbender is obviously like on an elevated platform looking like God with his arms raised. And then the alien imitates him and raises its teeny little arms.
Yeah, it's adorable.
I want it.
And then on the lander, the alien is like, I'm going to fuck y'all up. And then Catherine Waterston, this is pretty badass when Catherine Waterston is like, I'm going to fucking kill this shit.
Yeah, she's done,
and
man.
she gets out on there, and then she ends up crushing him in the little crane thing, which is pretty sick. Meanwhile, they make it back up to the big ship, and what's his name? Demian Bichir, the actor, he's in the med bay. He's got to get his face fixed. Everyone thinks everything's all right, and then wake up in a couple hours, there's an unknown life form on board.
God damn it.
And it's popped out of Demian Bichir's chest.
Ugh.
There's an alien, which they end up taking him to the cargo bay and shooting him out on a truck, which is also a good scene. Catherine Waterston also saves the fucking day again.
God damn it.
And then one last little gut punch. It's only Catherine Waterston and Danny McBride left. Oh, there's a great shower scene where Jussie Smollett gets mouthed
face
through the mouth.
Yeah. Oh my God, from the back of his head.
It's like the lighting and the water, and then you just see the teeth of the alien come through, like right beyond. Very good.
Very nice.
And then the way like the blood, this is a very horror shot. The way the blood shoots on the other lady is it's fantastic.
So that's what I mean by like different ways of how death is shown by the aliens through different characters. It hits all the different kind of horror genres one by one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then, so alien's gone, fallen back out into space. Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston bed down on their way to Origai 6 to start their colony. I guess they're going to have kids. No, there's a bunch of embryos out there. They don't have
There's
to
like
do
1,000 embryos still.
Catherine Waterston just wants to build her cabin. And she says to Walter, and then realizes you're not Walter at all.
It was the bad
David.
Robot. They brought David along.
Also, I never noticed this until I read it on the IMDb trivia. Earlier, when Walter gets cut, his skin automatically heals. And David, if you'll notice when he comes up onto the ship, he has a cut on his face, and Catherine Waterston helps him patch it up. And it does not heal automatically. And then you're cool. But it's not really a twist. You know that.
Well, you already know. You know an hour ago that it was
Yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters and being like, that's
it's a classic switcheroo.
Yeah. And then David goes and he pukes up a couple little face hugger embryos and puts them in storage on his way to the colony.
The way he pukes them up too is pretty great.
Yeah, fantastic.
So you're telling me he wants to raise a bunch of face huggers and more aliens and kill all the people and just have like an island of Thanoses? Just everyone is super powerful?
No, he wants to...
But he's the god? He's the creator?
He wants to lord over creation. Of a perfect organism. So
he's kind of like Arasham, and they are all his little celestials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this Eternals?
It's better than Eternals.
Is Alien Covenant a Marvel film?
Categorically, no. It is
Is
not.
Fassbender an X-Men? You can't say no.
Alien, use your little mouth.
I would like to kill you with my little mouth.
Use your little mouth wisely.
My big
for it
mouth.
shall serve you very well.
Get back in there. We can both eat.
There's talk about there's been talk for a long time about a sequel to Covenant happening.
Oh yeah.
But
Paradise Lost?
Apparently not. No, I don't think so.
Alien
Paradise.
Yes, for sure. Hold on. Prometheus 2. Come on now.
Well, I'm going to spoil it now that there's been no current plans that it's going to happen. There's been talk of an alien television program.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Who knows if that's ever going to happen either. It's up to Disney, because this is actually owned by Disney now, too. Speaking of the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shimmer.
Don't worry about it. I have the answer. The answer are that there are no plans. You don't have to look it up.
I know there are no plans. I was just hoping that there's a title that it would come to me. It didn't. It's Paradise something. Probably Paradise Lost because of the dialogue.
I doubt it because there's been no plans, as I've said.
No plans to be made, but plans that once were unfulfilled remain so.
That's haunting.
Yeah.
I think that one thing we know for sure is that if there is a franchise that exists, somewhere someone is planning a new entry in it. So, but there's nothing concrete yet. And I believe Ridley Scott was like, I will if someone wants me, but I don't think anyone wants me right now. So I won't. But then I think what's more likely is the television series.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I don't know who's going to take that over. And considering the way TV has gone in the last little ways of adaptations of classic things, it's probably going to be someone who sucks.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
So the last Alien thing we've got was 2017, hey? With Covenant?
Yeah. I saw
that was 7 years ago.
I saw the most obnoxious fucking review headline for this film. It was in Wired, and I don't remember the person's name because it's not worth remembering. They were like, "Oh, it turns out franchise fatigue, quote unquote, really just means not liking bad movies." And I was like, "Well, not really. This is the first Alien film in 5 years. Yeah, franchise fatigue refers to the fact that there was new Marvel films every 3 months.
Regurgitated every goddamn quarter.
Like in 2017, there was a new superhero movie every fucking week, man. It's I don't know. It was that Prometheus era snottiness that I was like, hey, fuck you and get some taste, dumbass.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go watch.
But really, I would never use that type of language.
No, you would be
in
tender
public,
and gentle and loving and
please learn
the review
to write better and also not be such a bad person in general.
Could you not be fundamentally
Perhaps
bad?
Like better things. And if you don't, leave.
Earth?
Life.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
No. I'm just kidding. I would never say that in real life to someone. Are we done with this? Are we done with this shit?
We regrettably are. I just want to end on a final note saying David Fassbender's character this whole time has been out in space, just fucking drawing and learning to play the flute and like making weird art about women having their bodies torn up and shit. Just like doing weird shit in space.
It's a regular Mindhunter episode, yeah.
The classic Mindhunter joint. I would not mind a TV show about this guy.
Can I just say though?
Yeah.
David and Walter already know how to do kind of everything.
Yes.
But the thing that what David loves is that he's experimenting with something completely new.
Yeah.
That's what makes him be like. That's why he's like, the problem with Walter is like, you can't create anything.
Yeah.
I can. And I'm creating stuff that's totally new that was never programmed into me.
No.
But yeah, anyway, this is a really good movie. Next in Catherine Waterston month, which we are going to celebrate every year until we die. We're even going to watch that weird HBO miniseries she was in.
No, we're not.
The third day.
Goodbye.
We're going to talk about Fantastic Beasts next week.
Coming up.
I hope you enjoyed that episode more than those movies.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, thank you for listening. It's been The Low Ceiling. I've been John.
I'm
sick, and I'm going to go fall down.
I'm Pri.
Pri's going to stand up.
I'm Pri.
Bye.
Bye.